welcome to devlog number 3 for my indie game. Still unnamed, but we made some good progress this week and I'll be showing that off to you now. Let's just jump into it. So I added all the other chess pieces into the game and gave them the correct code for how they should be moving around the area. For example, I've got the queen and the king here. The king's much more slower than the queen, and the queen can move on any axis. The pawn is much more slower and only attacks the player when it is really close, and it can only move on diagonal when it's attacking. Next was to just add the same damage code to the pawn and add a actual custom death animation to it. And I went with this. Once I was happy with that effect, I needed to implement that on all the other pieces. So I went straight into Blender and factorized them all so they can break up like this. Next, I added all the colliders and damage scripts and attacking scripts to all the different pieces. So I can finally mark that off my to-do list. And this is how it currently looks in the game with all the chess pieces spawned, with all the scripts correctly implemented. And yes, it is very hectic, and that's what I'm going for. And I'm currently happy with the effects and the death animations that I've currently got on the chess pieces. So I think that is a wrap on the chess pieces. So it's time to move on to another enemy. And the new enemy is a poker chip for the game. Currently got the movement down, just need to get the attack animation going in. And here's the attack animation. Once the poker chip is close into a certain range of the player, it will attack the player and try and speed towards the player and try and hit them. And after that, I decided to make some custom UI for the game, so I made this dash icon. Put that into the game, and you can see bottom left I had a countdown, so when the dash is ready, it signifies to the player that they can dash. And then I just added a temporary pause menu for the game. Next was to import all of the 52 cards and the textures for when the cards are thrown as well. This is very time consuming, but it had to be done. So now the UI actually displays a full 52 card deck and randomly picks 2 of them out of the deck, which ones are thrown. And once I had that basic UI done, it was time to move on to randomly generating the spawns for all these enemies that I've implemented so far. So each enemy has a different random spawn that I randomly pick through. And finally, I started playing around with a lot of post-processing effects in the game. So you get like this trippy change of color of the hue throughout the game. Just let me know what you think of this. Just experimenting at the moment, trying to make it much more like chaotic and fun to play. And thanks for watching, and be sure to be another one next week.